Let's move on to our first topic of the day. Last night, man. Last night, what a way for the Shield to get this season started. I thought it was an amazing weekend front to back. Of course, the Thursday night opener was great with the Eagles and Cowboys. The Brazil game was great with the Chargers and the Chiefs. We'll get into that in a minute as well. And, it was dope to see the NFL really evolving on the international scale. I had the GOAT Neymar in the building with Big Raj. That was cool to see. And you had a great Sunday slate of games. But this game right here, one of the premier rivalries in the NFL, the last two MVPs, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. And I said, if I'm going to use wrestling terms, I wish Bang was here to understand what I'm saying. This is not the Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin type matchup. I feel like that's Mahomes and like Allen or Mahomes and like Burrow or some shit. But this is 100% Triple H and Stone Cold. Like, this is like the second tier of rivalries right here. And it's like we see the same game every time. Every time. The Ravens look like they had no business losing that game, and they find a way to lose it, man. But the stats, Bills won 41-40 off a game-winning field goal by their kicker, Brandon Carterton. That's how you pronounce my man's name. But the MVP, Josh Allen, went 33 of 46. He had 2 touchdowns throwing, and he also rushed for 2 as well. Lamar Jackson on the other end also had a great game, 14 and 19, passing 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 1 on the ground as well. Derrick Henry, unstoppable. He was averaging 10 yards a carry. He had 18 carries, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns. So to me, when I look at this game, you always want to point at who's the reason that a team lost. And I'm looking right at their head coach. I'm looking right at their head coach, John Harbaugh. I'm not going to sit up here, blame, Lamar Jackson. I thought Lamar had a pretty, I won't call his game flawless, but he did everything that he was supposed to do to lose this game. Now, a little blame does go to Derrick Henry. You cannot fumble that football. You cannot fumble that football. If I'm going to shit on Lamar like I did last year in the playoffs when he fumbled that ball, I got to do the same thing to King Henry. I tweeted right before that fumble. I was like, right when the Bills scored, I was like, some funny shit about to happen. Ain't it? Like I just felt like some funny shit was gonna happen, and that's exactly what happened. But the story here is John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh. Here's the stat I got for y'all right here. It's from Josh DeBow of the Associated Press. Did you know John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second-half leads? That is the most by any coach since 1991. That is inexcusable. Inexcusable. You got like 6 minutes left in this game, and you have a 15-point lead. The Bills' defense could not stop this running game, really couldn't stop offense at all. They were just running the ball. And then when they had an opportunity, Lamar's making great passes. And then it's like the Ravens just stopped doing what worked. They stopped doing what worked and allowed the Bills to get back in this game, allowed them to gain confidence. And I think we saw this we've seen this the last couple of years with the Ravens. And I said last night, and I'm going to continue to say it, and it's the same thing for the Bills. Nothing these two teams do in the regular season really matters to me anymore. It's about playoffs. And that was, to me, I know it's just week 1. And we're going to do our week 1 overreactions in a minute. But that might be a game we come back and look and say, oh, that's why the AFC Championship is in Buffalo. And that's not something, if you're the Ravens, that you can afford. You can't afford the slow start that they had last year. We saw like 0-2, 0-3, some shit like that. You cannot afford that. And eventually, you got to man up and win these kind of games. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen found a way. No matter what we want to say about him, he found a way. Now, I still have questions about that defense, but that is as big of a week 1 win you can have, and that is as demoralizing of a week 1 loss you can have as well. So, Courtney, what were your thoughts from last night's game?
Well, I mean, again, I often say, and I do shit on this man from time to time. Josh Allen went crazy in the fourth quarter. The second half as a whole, was doing everything that he could. Now, mind you, there was that one near interception that I'm like, yep, he's still got a little dose of the bozo gene in him for sure. Because there was no reason why he needed to make that throw there. And it was nearly picked off. Lucky that it hit the ground first. But No, it was a fantastic game. Josh Allen went like 16 for 21, like 200 and almost 270 yards in the fourth quarter alone. Dude went crazy. That being said, again, when you look at a team and if they manage to keep doing the same thing over and over again with different personnel, it doesn't matter if it was Jair Alexander that was getting cooked, that he didn't let Keon Coleman score right there. The one time you, and again, I know things are happening fast, you know, decisions are made in real time. I can't necessarily fault somebody for that. But Nate Wiggins, 2 fucking PI calls. Like it's just little mistakes compounding. Again, different personnel. They still found a way to lose this game. And at a certain point, if you're the Ravens, you kind of have to sit back. And again, it's week 1, Bills, Ravens. We already know that this is going to be a very highly contentious game. But again, at a certain point, if you're ownership, the front office, you have to start thinking about the commonality across all of these comeback losses, or these comeback losses. What's the common occurrence? What's the common thread? And one might have to say that it's John Harbaugh. And Toastin, we talked about it on Friday when he was on the show. He's the Ravens fan. We talked about it. Listen, I think John Harbaugh is a fantastic coach. And I know we have to look, especially you quoted that gentleman. John Harbaugh's been coaching for what? Since like the 90s? Am I tripping?
He's been coaching since the 90s, and he's been head coach of this team since I was a freshman in college. That was a long time ago.
So like, and again, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Okay, but that
I put that on. I threw a soft pitch down the plate. Yeah.
You did, and you know what? I looked right at it. Look at me, growth. But no, at a certain point, you really just have to sit back and look at again at the common thread, and it might come to a point where if they can't get it done this year, because I still maintain that that's an excellent defense. They need to lock down, because regardless of how good Josh Allen was, your defense is not a Super Bowl defense if you're sitting up there giving up 40 points a game. It's not. You can't do that. No matter who you're playing, you can't give up 40 points a game in the National Football League. John Harbaugh, we might need to start a dialogue here in the next couple weeks.
Dante, what was your thought on this from a Ravens perspective? Like, with everything that's been hyped up going to the game, and I feel like everybody likes Lamar Jackson, obviously. And it's like they just want him to take that next step. How demoralized do you think this loss is, even though it's just week 1?
I don't think it's demoralizing at all. I think that's the main thing. It's week 1. It's frustrating, yes. You definitely want to come out and start on a good foot. But at the same time, this is a team you're going to see again. And every time they've played, it's going down to the wire like this. So touch on what you said, I think it's time to upgrade this to a tier 1 NFL rivalry. Like, the games are that good. The players are that good. And usually, just like when we were growing up and we would see Brady versus Manning, you still had those Brady versus Rivers battles that were also extremely fire that we all remember, and, just different playoff plays like that. So I think with these two, like I said, although it's week 1, we know they're going to see each other again in the playoffs. So I wouldn't be demoralized. To Nicholas's point in the chat, both defenses have to be better, and I think they will be better. But also, it's one of those situations where when 2 elite teams get together, you could throw away everything. It's really all bets are off. So it's a situation where they're going to, throw haymakers at each other. And we saw each team respond all night. I'm not going to, trash Derrick Henry for fumbling the ball. He didn't, fumbles happen. It was the worst time for it. And I think with Lamar Jackson, like you said, as far as the Ravens, to answer your question, Scott, it's one of those things where they just keep being like snake bitten in a sense. So you got to just keep digging, and eventually they will break through. I think Lamar will get that Super Bowl. We'll end that conversation. But for right now, I don't think it's too much to be demoralized about. Is it frustrating? Yes, especially when your season ended last year on a drop 2-point conversion. And then, like you said, because I know when it was 40-25, I thought the game was over. And I had text somebody, BTA, belt to ask, because I thought, they're really about to just smoke them and set the tone for the season. So from a Ravens standpoint, I don't panic, but it's like, okay, we know we're going to see this team again. We need to tighten up. And this can't happen a third time. If it happens a third time, then you got to start asking some questions. Like, all right, why is it every time we play this team, it goes down to the wire and we just can't get over that hump? But I think as far as right now, week 1, there's no need to overreact.
Yeah, I think too from the Ravens perspective, this is not something where I expect the Ravens to like lose and then this is just going to be a shit season. Like I said, regular season, they got the formula down pat. They have lost early games that have been very painful. Like,
It's
last
not
year,
the
they're
loss,
likely. Yeah, it's the
the way
mentality.
they lost.
It's the way they lost, and it's something that it's not the regular season. It's with this team, with the Bills. That's like if you look at the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. I would say the top three contenders in the AFC. Until I see more from the Bengals defense, I'm not going to put them there. In that three, it's all about January and February. Catch I'm Not Gonna Hold You, hosted by Scott Lewis, every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on HNB Media and the Barbershop Network.